In the city of Apta, there was this Jew, and he was, like most Jews in those times, today he runs either in real estate or nursing homes. Well, in those days, Jews were primarily involved in running inns, and because Jews weren't allowed to own any real estate, so the only way you could actually make a living was renting the inn from a landlord, commonly known as a poritz. And Jews were considered to be second-class citizens. They were property that you owned. And so, it wasn't easy being a Jew. This poor guy, everything was going well. He was making money for a time. But then things went south, and he's not making any money anymore. And for some reason, the clients are not coming into the inn. Nobody's drinking anymore. At least nobody's drinking by him. So he doesn't know what to do. So he has no money to pay for the rent. As Mausim, what do we do? So a month, 2 months, 3 months, and the poritz wants his money. So he starts sending him messages, you're late, you're late, you're late, you're late. Finally, the poritz comes and he says, okay, here's the story. My threat is going to be actualized. I'm going to kick you out, and you're going to be on the streets and you have nothing. And, he says the next month, if you're not paying on the first of the month, back rent for all 4 months, I'm going to show you what I'm capable of doing. Unfortunately for this Jew, that day turns out to be Shabbos morning. So on Shabbos morning, he's dressed up and he's about to leave for shul. As he's about to go, a bunch of Cossack ruffians enter his house. And the kids are still sleeping. And they come in and they turn everything over, a mini pogrom in his house. They literally just destroy everything. And he knows that these guys are not just ruffians, they're official. This is the police, basically, from the poritz. And the worst moment is when they took the cholent pot that was on the fire and they just turned the whole thing over. And he's just watching, nothing he can do. He's just standing over there, absolutely helpless. And the kids wake up and the kids are all frightened and everyone's shocked. And it's a horrible moment. The Cossacks leave and they say, if you don't pay, we're going to come back for some more. And the guy is just looking around and he's in absolute stress. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to react? And he feels so down and finished, and he doesn't have a clue what he's going to do. And he picks up the pieces as much as he could. And, no more cholent for that Shabbos, but everything is just in a destruction in the house. And he looks like a sad old Jew. In those times, I think Jews had a very negative stint, I think, to the thought mind process. We were downtrodden and stepped on all over. So the Jew goes to shul. And in shul, he's clearly very, very down. His whole demeanor is just sad. And he's got the world's problems on his shoulders because he knows they're going to come back. The question is how soon. They will come back. Anyway, that day, lo and behold, was Shabbos HaGadol, Shabbos of Pesach. So the rabbi is giving a big drasha. In the afternoon, everyone's got to be there, so he walks into the drasha. It's a tumult. His head is such in different places, know what to do. Afternoon on Shabbos, he comes into shul to hear the rabbi's drasha, but he walks in late. When he walks in, the shul's already packed full, just hundreds of people come to hear. The great Rebbe was Avraham Yeshua Heschel, otherwise known as the Oyev Yisrael of Apta, the Aptarov. Aptarov lived from, I think, 1748 till 1823, somewhere around there. And he wrote a work called Oyev Yisrael. It's all about love for a fellow Jew. Very, very, very special. A Rebbe who really, he named the Sefer Oyev Yisrael. It was about reaching out to Jews with love. So he walks into the drasha, Shabbos HaGadol, and literally as he walks in, he finds a little corner seat right by the door, and he sits down. And the Aptarov is looking around, and his gaze is on this Jew. He looks at him, and the guy just like he's in a daze from the whole experience. He's in absolute daze, and he walks in, and the Alter Rebbe says as follows. He says that in Haggadah Shel Pesach, we end off Magid, and we lift up our cups of wine, and we say the last words. We will acknowledge to you, thank to you, a brand new song. Al Geulaseinu, for our redemption, Val Pedus Nafsheinu, for the redemption of our souls, the ransoming of our souls. Baruch Atah Hashem Goal Yisrael, who redeemed Israel. And he says, isn't it interesting that there's two ways which we pronounce Geula? Sometimes we say Goyal Yisrael, and sometimes we say Goal Yisrael. Like every day on in Shemoneh Esrei, there's a bracha of Baruch Atah Hashem Goyal Yisrael, which is present tense. But when you start Shemoneh Esrei, you say Baruch Atah Hashem Goal Yisrael, which is past tense. He says, what's the difference between past tense and present tense? So he says, well, past is already, it's happened. Done. I've already experienced the Geula. So well, when Pesach comes along, see the Jewish people in Mitzrayim. And what does Mitzrayim mean? Mitzrayim is a space of limitation and constraints. And sometimes life is hard, he says. Sometimes life is very difficult. That's your personal Mitzrayim. And Abderov, who didn't know the story from this Jew at least, says sometimes a Jew is late on his rent and he's unable to pay his rent. And the Borat sends some Cossack ruffians to shter and turn over his whole Shabbos. And the Jew's absolutely lost. And this guy's sitting in his seat and he's like, wow, this sounds relevant, this drasha. And suddenly he's all ears, he's listening. And he says, yeah, and sometimes the Paritz is just behaving like an absolute lunatic. And the Jew has no idea where redemption will come from. Well, that's his Mitzrayim. That's his personal state of being in limitations and constraints. So every day of the year, we say, Goal Yisrael, Goyal Yisrael. But on Pesach, we lift up our cups and we say, we have escaped all limitations. We acknowledge the song, Baruch Atah Hashem Goal Yisrael. It's past tense. And when a person looks at it as past tense, he knows that Hashem has taken care of you. Hashem's got me, he loves me, it's all done. There's nothing what to worry about. When he behaves and when he starts thinking from a space of it's all absolutely good, Gaal Yisrael, then every moment when he says on a daily basis, Goel Yisrael, he means Gaal Yisrael, he means Hashem redeemed me, already done. So every moment he says, Goel Yisrael, I'm free man, everything's good. And then Goal Yisrael. And so what the Jew should be doing, he says, is he should be singing a song to Hashem, for his redemption. Even before the redemption has come about, he should be experiencing the redemption. And then everything falls into place. So this guy hears the drasha, and he didn't know what else happened in the drasha. He just knew that part he got. And the Jew comes home, and he's just like cloud nine. He's just dancing his way all the way back home, and as excited and happy as you could ever imagine. And he comes home, and he's just smiling and thrilled and excited because he can't believe the Rebbe actually spoke about him, and he can't believe the Rebbe actually effectively gave him a bracha that it's all good. So he's like, so if I'm just living in that space of redemption, it's all done. So he comes home and he says, everything's fine. Everything's amazing. And he sees that cholent on the ground, still there, upside down, on the floor. And he just jumps for joy. And it's already, Shabbos is over. He goes to the family and he just is expressing the absolute joy of the moment. And they're all dancing. And he takes his kids and they go in a circle and they dance around the room. And they know Hashem has us just there. And what he discovers is that suddenly the whole family, they have no idea what actually happened. But they know that it must be everything's good because, Abba's behaving very happy. And in walk right then, in the evening, Matzah Shabbos, come in, the Cossacks again. And they're here because they haven't been here, 12 hours. So they've come back to continue. And they walk inside and they see this guy is dancing around with his kids. And they're like, what is going on? And instead of wreaking havoc again, they go right back to the parts and they say, we don't know what happened, but something's changed because the Jew's just absolute rejoicing and he's singing and, everything's good. So the next morning, the parts summons in the Jew to come into him. And he comes in and he's just smiling and excited. He has, one thing he had no problem was bitachon. He was convinced 100% that everything's fine. So he walks up to the parts, absolutely smiling. And the parts looks at him and he's never seen this kind of scene before because he's always used to a downtrodden Jew who's meek and controllable. And he has a guy who's just happy. He says, what are you happy about? He says, everything's amazing. He says, do you have the rent? He says, it's coming. It's good. But he just feels everything's just amazing. Of course, don't worry, it's all good. And the parts looks at him and something changed. There was a switch within the parts. And he says, you know what? Moshke, they always call the Jews, right? Moshke. He says, you look like a good guy. And you look like everything's great. He says, I know you have a problem reaching your quota with how much mashke you need. He says, there's a place, there's a brand new type of vodka you can buy. And there's a guy over there, I know you don't have the money. I'll lend you the money to buy it, pay me back, and you'll be able to do what you need. This is what the people want. And he gives them the money to buy it, lends them the money. Business comes right back to what it was in no time at all. Within a very short span of time, he's able to pay the loan and all the rent that's owed, and everything falls into place and works amazing. And then he discovers what the Ohev Yisrael, the Apter Rav, had said, that if you sing a song before the song happens, then you're already in that space of the song. And it's about being able to say in the moment of Goel Yisrael, to be able to say Goal Yisrael, that even when you feel it's not about the waiting for the redemption to actually happen. Every moment that's there, the redemption has already happened if you decided that it happened by you. The question is, how do we live in that space also? When there's negativity, how are we able to change it and shift it over? And I ask you today the question, do you see the good things that happen to you in life, or do you sometimes see the not so good things that happen? Every one of us lives a dual life. Things happen to us all the time. So what do you see when things happen to you? What do you notice? And do you notice on yourself when things happen what you decide to notice? Imagine a few bad things happen and a few good things. And you could decide to live in the space of the bad things that happened, and you almost create around you an aura of, I knew it. I knew it would happen that way. And negativity is so much more fun because it's definite, right? When you know it's negative, you know it. And then when it happens, it's like, I predicted it. I knew it. And it feels good. Well, it feels good to feel bad, basically. It's like okay to feel bad.
It's a default.
Right.
It's easier. It's a default setting.
That's a comfortable place.
It's a lot of work to feel good.
Right.
See things in a good
How do we switch that to actually feel the goodness? That's the question. How do we go into a space whereby we can live and feel the goodness and notice only the good things? And what's going to happen if you only notice good things?
More good comes. Feel good about everything.
When Adam Arishon was created, I believe we once discussed this. When Adam was created, he said, it's a chapter, Kuf Lamed Tes, 139 in Tehillim. He said, Achor vakedem tzartani. I'm the end, the last, and I'm the first. That's how you created me. I'm both. Very strange. Like, he came into creation and he saw a massive world around him. And he realized that every single being in the world was created before me. And he looked around and he said, how do I even survive in such a vast, huge universe? It's so massive. It's so giant. Like, what am I? Little me? I'm a nothing. And he thought to himself, and he says, I'm really useless. I have no power. Everything happens to me. Look, these huge, giant animals. Who knows? Maybe they were even dinosaurs. Well, he was pretty big himself at the beginning, but still, he saw like all of creation. He says, it's massive, it's huge. And then he's like, and you want me, Hashem, La'avdo, L'shama, to do work in this world and to make it a holy place? Like, impossible. It's so big. It's so much going on in this world. I'm so helpless. And then he thought to himself, you ever gone to a wedding and you arrive there first? You want to be the first to arrive at a wedding. You know how weddings start, like, if you make a wedding, that the beginning, there's nobody there. And then the first guy walks in and looks around and it takes some time before, so someone's going to be the first. I know a guy who likes to say, I like to go to wedding first. Whatever time, if it's called, Kabbalah's Panim is called for 6 o'clock, I got to be there at 6:00. He likes to be there first. Most people don't want to be there first. The Chassan and Kala want to be there first. When they walk in, they make the grand entrance. Can you imagine you make a grand entrance and you're the first one to come in? It will be like a little bit, not so grand. You want to walk in and have tons of people there before already enjoying themselves, and now you walk in and then you can become the star of the show. So there's two ways to walk in to see the creation. On the one hand, Adam can say, I'm so meek and feeble and useless. I'm just a little me. And on the other hand, Adam can say, it's all made for me. Everything is here designed so that I can do the best and make it into an amazing space. Those are the two options Adam Arishan has. And that's what he said. You know which one it is? It's both. Sometimes I feel like I'm Ocher, the end. And sometimes I feel like I'm Kedem, the beginning. And ever since that moment, we all live in that space all the time. Every moment of your life, you live between two perspectives and you're making two decisions. Am I Ocher or am I Kedem? Is it happening to me or am I happening to it? The difference being, life is a challenge. Life is stressful. So much going on. You could say, wow, I'm overwhelmed. And then it's happening to you. Or you could say, it's so amazing to be like in the hands of Hashem all the time. It's like unreal. All the time I get to be in the hands of Hashem. Like, I don't know. Whatever happens, Hashem takes care of me. A guy told me the other day, he's stressed out. He's got this big business and the IRS is auditing him. Stress. The IRS is auditing you. What should I do? So he says, we've been speaking about it for a while. I'm thinking good. I'm tracking good the last month. It's really, and I'm really working hard to track good, to think good. And now this audit just like came out of the blue and it's just stressing me because I can get through it. But it means for the next 45 days, I have the IRS looking at every step of every little nook and cranny of what I do. So I feel overwhelmed. So we were discussing solution. Solution is every little stress that comes your way is Hashem saying, I love you, I take care of you. What does it mean? How do you want to feel when everything goes fine and you passed the IRS test with flying colors? How will you feel? Feel great. So feel great now. And work on yourself to the point of Hashem is just with me. Now, do you see Hashem with you at all? I said, come on, what stories have you seen now that amazing? He said, well, one thing happened was like this lady from the IRS who called me, like instead of being like she called me up, and I usually, it's someone who's just like a clerk who just tells me what to do. And this person, she knew me from a few years ago. We did something and she remembered me, and she told me, I'll make sure I'll help you out. I said, wow, if you start noticing the good parts and if you're focused on noticing the good parts, you'll notice more good parts. If you focus on noticing more good parts, the more you notice, the more of them will come about. That's the reality. Is it happening to me? Is life overwhelming and stressful? Then you know what it is? It is. When someone tells you I'm overwhelmed and stressed about life, you know what you respond? Feel it. It is overwhelming and stressful. If they say it is, that's exactly what they're feeling, and therefore that's exactly what it is. And that's called ocher. I'm in a state of achor. I'm behind everything. I'm the last. Adam says, I can't. Everything's before me. I just can't. I'm overwhelmed. And then you say, want to look at it in a different way? Want to hear another perspective? It's not ocher. It's kedem. It's all opportunity for you. How do you choose to exercise the opportunity of the moment? Kedem means it's a space for me to find Hashem. Hashem is always with me, always taking care of me, every step of the way. Nothing bad ever happens to me. Start to notice how amazing things are, how amazing I want them to be, and I start seeing every single moment absolutely incredible. And I say, Nodelecha shir chadash. I sing a song. Al giuloseinu val pedus nafsheinu. Because isn't it amazing when our souls are free? That's called getting out of Mitzrayim. The goal when we sit down at the Seder is to be able to sing a song to Hashem. To be able to sing a song, which is, I see the world as one beautiful song every step of the way. Instead of seeing the acher, I see the kedem. The whole time, I just see a song. You know, on Pesach, there is a Megillah. There is a book that's associated with Pesach, which is which one? Hashirim. So some people, lame, actually read hashirim in shul on Shabbos. This year there's no Shabbos Chol Hamoed, so different day, Achron Shel Pesach. And others, many people say hashirim. Sit down to hashirim if you have the strength and ability to do so. When the Haggadah, when the Seder ends, all the way at the end, you know, people usually remember my grandfathers used to do that, and they sit down and they say hashirim all the way at the end. For some reason, hashirim, the song of songs, has a lot to do with getting out of Mitzrayim. What's the connection between hashirim, which is a song of songs? It's the song of the two lovers. So there's a chassan and a kala who love each other. And the chassan and kala is Hashem and the Jewish people. And what it is that the way to get out of the rut, the way to get out of the narrative which we are involved in, which we are immersed in and sunken in, is by singing. Shir chadash. And then I can say, Baruch Atah Hashem Go'al Yisrael. If I sing a song. When you're singing, life just looks like one big song. Everything's just happening. It's chassan and kala. It's like an amazing thing. There's so much delight and excitement going on that you don't even notice all the negative parts. There's lots of negative going on. And when you're in that space of love, you just don't notice it. All you notice is that space of goodness. So really what we want to do in order to experience kedem, in order to shift from ocher to kedem, to be able to go to a space of saying, you know what? I am the one who's calling the shots. And I'm calling the shots. I'm going to look at all the good things that are happening. I'm going to feel Hashem, how he's taking care of me and how he's doing it. And so whatever happens, I'm going to be singing the song. And so on Pesach, we say, shir hashirim asher lishleima. That one verse, that one pasuk, captures the essence of how you feel how Hashem is right there and everything he's doing for me. You see? How do you get married to Hashem? It's really what we want to do. Shir hashirim means a marriage between Hashem and us. But what is marriage? Like, how do you get married to Hashem? What does it even mean to get married to Hashem? Well, what does it mean? What? Submission, on one hand. Well, what does it mean to get married to anyone? What?
Connection.
Attachment and connection. How do you experience that? What? Partnership. Very good. It's a funny thing. Marriage is very strange. Because marriage means two people who have absolutely no connection with each other decide that they do. That's really what it is. And then you have to say that Hashem decides so that it actually works. And then when you have kids, okay, then it's like, fine.
Then we definitely know it was meant to be.
Right. But marriage itself is just like two separate people deciding they are together, and you become so enmeshed in it that you literally think it's one, but it like you're not. You're just two separate people. So in order to understand what a marriage is and how we get married to Hashem, we look at the words which we use for getting married. He's called a chassan, she's called a kala. What's a chatan and what's a kala? What do the words mean in English, literal English? Not groom and bride.
Kala, maybe chala.
Well, that's a kaf and a chaf. What does the word kala mean? End. Yeah. Right? Lechalot, to finish. Kalu kol hakitzin, to end. What else does kala mean?
It's including, it's everything.
Michlal, very good. What does it mean? Nichsefa v'gam kalta nafshi. Longing and yearning? Strange way to call a bride. Kala, to be finished, and to be longing. Why is that the name for a kala? And what does chatan mean? Chatan is an Aramaic term. It means it's a mnemonic for chatan is chus v'nosiv. It means come down and get married. Chus darga v'nosiv itza. Chatan is someone to be a chassan, in a perfect setting. The guy's learning Torah and very involved in spiritual pursuits. And what the guy does is he comes down to a space of physicality and experiencing a marriage. The kala, in order to get married, she gives, in a certain sense, a lot more. A kala means a longing for a chassan, a yearning for a chassan. That's when it works. It works when the kala has a longing and a yearning to be absorbed into the chassan, and the chassan comes down to become one with her. So if you think about it, in the relationship between Hashem and us, it works perfect. Hashem is the chassan. The day of the wedding is Matan Torah. Pesach is the beginning of the process of us being married to Hashem. So Hashem comes down, he's up, and he comes down. And what do we do in the process? We go up. So what does it mean to go up? It's to yearn for a relationship with Hashem. And when you do that, you kaleh, you finish off, you push away and get finish all the negativity that's out there. Chassan comes down, kala goes up in a state of yearning, and they get bound and attached to each other. So what you and I want to do in order to feel Hashem's presence is to discover, how do we get a yearning for Hashem? So what would you think? How could you possibly work on a yearning for Hashem? What does it even mean? Do you yearn for Hashem? Yeah, when something's bad and whatever, you yearn for getting out of the bad. But not that. What does it mean to yearn for Hashem? To see what? To see the good. And then, what happens to you? Right? The marriage between us and Hashem, every day, you have to work on your marriage. Every day, the moment of working on the marriage is to exclude all others. It's just me and you. The way you do that is close your eyes, put your hand in your eyes, and you say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And Hashem Echad means not one God, one, nothing else. It's noticing how nothing else exists in this world besides Hashem. And that's not just a mantra. That's what it means, noticing the good. If Hashem is everything, not just one God, then Hashem is creating the world right now, right this second. And if you see something that appears to be negative, you look around and you say, what appears to be negative is in actual fact being created by Hashem at this present moment. That's what it means. I notice Hashem every step of the way, every moment, every interaction. I notice Hashem. The only way to do that is by closing my eyes and saying, Hashem Echad. If I can close my eyes and recognize the oneness of Hashem, then no matter what happens, I'm saying, okay, Hashem is right here, right present. The result of that is Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. Translate the word Ve'ahavta. What? Ve'ahavta. And you?
You love her.
Ve'ahavta et Hashem.
Right this second.
Well, the literal translation would seem to mean you should love Hashem. Shema Yisrael, listen Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is one. And it's a command, Ve'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, you should love Hashem Elokecha. But there's another translation of Ve'ahavta, not you should love, but rather you will love. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So Ve'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, of course you'll love Hashem. What do you mean? What else? It's a natural consequence of contemplating Shema, that Hashem is one. If you start seeing that Hashem is one and nothing else exists, then all you want all the time is just to feel His presence, to be absorbed into His presence. Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol moedecha, in your heart, your soul, and every fiber of your being. That's called being a kala. Being a kala means Hashem, I don't just do your mitzvahs. I don't just do what you say. I'm crazy over you. How do you become crazy over Hashem? Closing your eyes and recognizing nothing else exists besides Hashem. And then you yearn for that relationship. You know what happens next? What does that mean? You'll hear Hashem, I want to just be with you all the time. What else can I do? What else? Where else? That's called being a kala. A kala is meshuga. She feels all the time a relationship with her chassan. The book of Hashirim is the song of songs. It's the song of the chassan and the kala, not someone else. You. It's the song that you are singing. What's it called? Shir hashirim. See?
It's the ultimate song.
It's the song of the songs. Every one of us is really deep down singing a song. So there's the external song and the internal song. The external song you sing, hopefully it's a happy song. Excited, life is good, things are good. Yeah, wonderful. Behind every song of all neshamas, of all of us, is the song, the shir hashirim. What's the shir of the shirim? The song behind the songs is that all of us, every single one of us, is a kala, yearning for a relationship with the chassan, with Hashem. And Hashem is ever present, every moment, every step of the way. He's right there with you in this moment. And when you can release the song and allow the song to express itself, the song inside, you know what the result is? The pasuk says, shir hashirim asher lishlomo. What does the word shlomo mean? Shalom. Peace. You feel completion and peace. When we live with our inner song, we feel at peace. By the way, the word Shlomo, very interesting word, because Shlomo is a male, the word. Shlomo, his shalom. But you write it with a hey. It should have been written Shlomo, Shin Lamed Vav Mem Vav. Why do we write it with a hey? Hey is a female word. It's because true peace is when the male and the female unite as one. Shlomo and Shloma, and they became one. That's when you get true peace. True peace is when you are feeling an absolute connection and oneness to Hashem. And then you feel a klois nefesh, a yearning for Hashem. Because you close your eyes and you say Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and you meditate on that, you reflect on that. Hashem is everything. And then you start seeing, wow, and look at my life. The things that happen in my life is just amazing. So Hashem has given me the space, a mind, with which I can see his presence. So I don't feel any negativity at any time. I do. And then I say, Hashem, Shema Yisrael, you're one. I work my way through it to feel the goodness of the moment. And then I start noticing Hashem Echad in everything. Hashem did this for me. Hashem did that for me. And I switch my language. Instead of saying everything's going wrong, look what's going bad, I allow my language to guide me. My language becomes, Hashem always helps me. It's so amazing. I notice he helped me with this, he helped me with that. Unbelievable. Everything that happens, Hashem is always with me. I notice Hashem Echad. You see what's happening? As you contemplate that Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, you're like, I want him. And you start noticing him. That's the Kala who can't stop talking about the Chassim, because every moment she feels the Chassim. And it's not easy, because you could say, easy for you to talk. Look at my life. My life's messed up. And the answer is, it is. It's terrible. And when someone else tells it to you, recognize that. Humans are humans and life could be bad for them. Yes. And then say, but do you want to stay there or do you want to switch? Do you want to grow? Because if you want to grow, you need to get into a relationship with Hashem. Some people just live and whatever happens, happens. That's a very sad space to be because it's very lonely. So much more fun to be married to Hashem. If I can get into a married space with him, then I feel his presence all the time. So that's why we Jews every day, morning, evening, Shach b'chov kumecha, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And v'ahavta, then I look for him. V'ahavta is, I'm looking for every space. Because there's Acher and Kedem Tzatani, there's the backwards and the forwards. Which one do you want to choose to live in? Is it happening to you? Are you Achor? Or is it Kedem? You are the Kala. When you're married to the Chassan and you're walking in to the room and everyone's announcing. The announcement is, for the first time ever, Mr. and Mrs., you. Hashem and you. For the first time ever, every day, every moment. And you look around and you see, wow, they're all here for me to build a space of connection and relationship with Hashem. That's the song that all of us are singing deep down. It's the song of peace. Between him from above and her from below. Shir hashirim asher lishlomo. And for the sake of completion of the pasuk, he says, Yishakeni min shikot piu. he gives a kiss from the kisses of his mouth. Why do people kiss each other? What a weird, strange way to express love. Like,
To give it rest.
what?
To give it rest.
It was like,
You're
such a weird expression of love. Sorry, I know we all do it, but it's a very strange way to express your connection. But Shlomo Melech recognized that. You know what a kiss is? It's like, I want to be one with you. So it's like, it's sucking in the other person's energy. That's what it is.
It's a baby,
Like a
right?
baby,
Right?
Yes.
You see a baby, you want to kiss.
Right.
Wind them up.
I want like a relation. I want to feel you. I want to just feel you better. I want to feel you more.
It's like when you sneeze, you stop breathing, and here like you give breath to each other, breath of love and life.
Yeah. Now, that's what you're doing with Hashem. How do you kiss Hashem? You have to suck out the energy. Every moment is an opportunity for giving a kiss to Hashem. It's more of a figurative kiss. But every moment what happens is you want to pull the energy in. The energy is Kedem versus Acher. The energy is always, all the time, everywhere. Because Hashem is just everywhere. What he wants is sing the song of the Kala to the Chassan. So you walk around and you say, wow, I saw redemption everywhere. Gal Yisrael, I see Hashem everywhere. And then someone comes gives you those comments, you're living in La La Land. And you know what you realize? That you are. Yeah. And it's amazing. And the facts of life are that whatever you are is what you will draw more of. And if you start seeing only the goodness, you'll draw the goodness to you. And if you want to be a negative person, then that's a problem that you are. And if you want to switch, then you'll see that. And we can sing a song, a shir, hashirim, v'noided hashir chodosh. What we want to do in the Seder night is be able to sing the song of shir hashirim. Say to Hashem, I'm in a relationship with you. I'm going to close off everything else. I'm going to realize that the world is just one big Mitzrayim, one big sense of limitation, of disconnectedness from Hashem. And all I want is to feel you and connected to you. And I want to be able to sing a song. And life is one big song. Shir hashirim asher lishlomo, the song of one who is at peace. Because he's a kala, finished, got rid of all the negativity. And that's part one of what a kala means. And the second thing is I'm a kala, I'm close to Hashem, I'm yearning for Hashem. And that's asher lishlomo, the peace. Yishakeni min chikot, give a kiss to Hashem. Every moment, I suck the energy out of the moment and I discover that's God, that's Hashem, that's Hashem. Wow, Hashem always makes it work for me. And the last part of the pasuk is Ki tovim doidecha miyoin, which is your love is better than wine. What's wine? Wine is made in grapes. All good things are hidden. And you have to discover the goodness by taking out the beauty. And wine makes people happy. Yain is samach levav enesh. The happiness of life stems from the ability to discover the wine and the grapes. To discover at every moment, every little thing that happens is just there as your opportunity to switch from achor to kedem. And that's where you're needed. And that's the wine which you're going to get. But tovim doidecha miyain. The love to Hashem is greater than any wine you could ever have. Because the ultimate, most beautiful revelation of anything you've ever experienced is when you appreciate and notice and see Hashem's hand in everything. And as you do, you discover the love for Hashem. And you discover in a broader sense that we live in an amazing space. Because you know what you could do in this world? Yeah, there's a lot of negativity that comes that way. You know why there's negativity? Not to be negative, that's acher. There's negativity to allow you to give tzedakah. That's the kedem. There's negativity to allow you to build channels to Hashem, to find a place to kiss Hashem every step of the way. There's negativity to allow you to feel the power of the song. It's not negative. It's all opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. And on Pesach night, Pesach is the time of redemption. Pesach is the time we want to be able to sing a song. And the song I want to sing is that every moment of my life was spectacular. It was exciting. I don't need anything to happen tomorrow for me to feel the presence of Hashem. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It's happening at this moment now. And so they made this beautiful takana, a beautiful enactment to sing the Song of Songs at this moment of getting out of Mitzrayim. Some people live in Mitzrayim. Most people live in Mitzrayim. They live in a space of limitation, constraints. Everything happens to them. And some people say, you created me backwards and forwards. And I know that I get the game. I get it. Happens to me. I catch myself all the time. And I see, even Adam Arishan said that. David HaMelech said that. I see, switch every moment. And instead of looking at the negative parts, I flip. I look at the positive parts. And I discover that inside me is a song that's waiting to be sung. A shir, hashirim, a song of peace. Give me a kiss every moment. Because the love for you that I can find in this world is better than all wine in the world. And you see that as you do this, that is how you get to Geula. We don't get to Geula by something happening. We get to Geula by making Geula, by singing a song at this moment.
Kedem, not just the wine brand.
God.